All right, hello everyone. I want to welcome you all to our fifth Zoom technology class. Thank you all for joining us today. We are going to get started because we do have a bunch of things that we want to cover today. First of all, before we get started, I want to show you a quick video. It's only like 45 seconds, but it basically introduces the portal that we are releasing tomorrow, which is very big for us. If you haven't heard about it or you don't know what exactly it is, this video gives you a brief overview. So Joe, let's play the quick video and then we'll get right into things. Okay, that's fine. All right, so basically, for those of you who aren't aware, tomorrow we are releasing a virtual portal, which might be of interest to some of you. It isn't focused towards you guys because you guys can benefit from our Zoom classes, but we do have about 25 people already registered for Monday, and it hasn't even been released yet, which is great. But basically, I'm going to put in the chat right now a link. And if you would like to kind of try this out, see how it works, you could just click on this link and you'll be able to play around with it. It's basically a way for you to take the classes even during the week without us being there live. We basically recorded the classes so that you have them in like an interactive environment. If you have more questions about it, you could definitely reach out to me. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I just want to make sure you were aware that we are releasing this tomorrow. And we'll be sending out some more information to you. But please let me know if you're interested and if you have any more questions regarding that. Okay, so let's get right into things. A few things. First of all, if you would like to contribute something, like we say every week, just raise your hand virtually by clicking on participants and then raise hand, or on a smartphone or tablet by clicking on more and then raise hand. That way we see you have a question, we'll be able to answer those. And obviously the best place to ask your questions is during our weekly Q&A session. And finally, if you have not done so already, make sure you are in our WhatsApp or email list, something I say every week, but if you a few of you, this is your first time joining us, so please make sure you do that so that you get our updates and messages and reminders about the classes. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So for those of you who were here last week, we learned how to access news on a smartphone. How to use and manage an email account, and how to access the weather in the weather app. And today's lesson is revolving around health. And we're going to be looking at three different platforms. The first one is called the Health Sync app. Second is called the Health app made by Apple. And the last one is how to create a healthy workspace. This was a lesson that we did teach last semester. So if you did participate last semester, you are familiar with a few of these. But we definitely gotten great feedback from this class of seniors who have used these apps even after we taught them and actually benefited from them. So we're very excited to teach these today. So we're going to start now with Health Sync. Trying to go to the next slide. So Health Sync is basically an app that you can download on your smartphones. Any smartphone, not just iPhones, and it allows you to keep track and manage your health data, including doctor's appointments, medications. You can keep track of your family members. It's basically a health portal where you could keep track of all your different conditions and medications and measurements and all that in one organized place. This app was designed by Jerry Kestenbaum, who is the CEO of Building Link. He put this app together and introduced it to me, and I thought it was a great app, and that's why I'm showing it to you today. Okay, so to tell you a little bit more about what the app actually does, I'm going to pass it over to Julia. Joe, you could stay on that slide before, but basically there are a few things that that HealthSync does that you might specifically benefit from, and things that we're going to show you today. So I'm going to pass over to Julia to introduce it to you.
Okay, guys, so HealthSync is an app that you can download on your smartphone devices it's not an app that comes directly with the phone. So it's a third-party app. And HealthSync is a tool that helps you collaborate with your loved ones in order to share your important health information with both you and other people. So you're able to input all of your health information into this app and create a data set for either you or a family member in order to manage your medications, record.
All right, Julia, I think was cutting out there at the end. Julia, still here? Okay, I'll pick up from there, and hopefully Julia will come back. But basically, HealthSync allows you to create and manage a data set for either yourself or someone you care about. And it's very easy. It's a very colorful, playful. It's it's a very user-friendly app, which is one of the reasons why we decided to teach it. And it basically eliminates the need for handwritten and prescription lists and all this kind of unorganized things, and puts it all into a concise app for you. We're going to show you how to use it today, how to download it, and a few of the things that we think could actually benefit you. Okay, so Joe, let's go to your phone. And obviously the first step anytime you want to download an app is actually going to the App Store and downloading it. Now, once again, this is the same procedure that we showed when we showed you social media, when we showed you WhatsApp. It's the same procedure anytime you want to download some sort of third-party app. And once this is on the screen, I'm going to pass it over to Caroline to show you how to download it.
Hi, guys. Okay, so once you're on your phone or your iPhone or smartphone, what you want to look for is the App Store app, which just has the big A across it, which we've shown you multiple times, which is right in the center right here. So if you click on that app and you go to the search bar on the right in the bottom that Jordan just circled, and now you go to the top and you could search HealthSync into the top. Okay, so once Joe searches that in, he clicks on the first one that pops up. And I guess for this app, you'll need to scroll either a few down or it'll be the first one. But what you're looking for is a big H with an S in it right here. So Joe already has this app downloaded. So what he's going to press is open. But if you're getting this app for the first time, what you would want to press is the get button, which is shown on the app below HealthSync, just to show you guys. And once you press get, the app will download and you could open it in your home screen.
Great. So that's the same procedure that we've been showing you multiple times. You just go to the App Store, click on the search bar, type in the name of the app, and click on get. We already have it downloaded, so it says open, but you're just going to click on get in order to successfully download the app. Once you download it, it will be placed. The app will be placed somewhere on your home screen, usually at the end of it. So you might have to swipe left or right in order to find it. But if Joe scrolls, let's see if we could spot it. I don't see it there. There it is. It's at the bottom right. Does everyone see that? There's our HealthSync app. You might have to scroll left and right in order to find it, but usually it's at the end. So you might have to scroll all the way to the right. Once you find it, you're just going to click on it to open up the app. And once you open it for the first time, Joe, let's just sign out so we could start from the beginning. Sorry guys, we were actually testing this last night, so that's why it's already signed in. Is there a way to? Let's see. Get log out. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is what you're going to see when you first open the HealthSync app. You see it says HealthSync. It says enter your email first and then click on continue. So you'll be asked to type in some basic information, including your name, your age, your email. So Joe's going to go ahead and type in his email address here. And then you'll click on continue. That's the first step when you sign in, to type in your email address and then click on continue. Now, once you do that, you'll be asked for some more basic information, including your first name, your last name, and a password. Now, we have gone over what is considered a good private passcode. You should probably maybe use one you used before or one that you think you'll remember. Just type that in. And once you have that typed in, you'll click on the register button at the bottom of the screen, and you will have been signed up and registered for HealthSync. So it's pretty basic: your email, your first name, your last name, your email, and your password. That's the only information that this app needs in order to get you started on the actual app. Okay, now Joe just clicked on register. You see it's now loading. And what it will tell you is that an email has been sent to the email account, kind of with a confirmation, making sure that this is really your email. You could just click on login, which is the button at the bottom of the screen, in order to actually get started. And you'll be taken to this page. Here's where you know you're in the right place when you see the nice big bold words that say welcome to the HealthSync app. That is what you're looking for. Once you have done the basic information, you'll be taken here. Now, you have the option to either skip or start a brief tour. We are pretty much going to give you the brief tour today, so you might want to skip that when you get the app for yourself. But if Joe clicks on start a brief tour, you just see how it basically explains the different panels of the app. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we're actually going to show it to you once we get into the app. But it basically gives you an overview of a guideline on what to actually do. You could just skip all that and click on get started, or you could have clicked on skip at the beginning. But let's actually get into the app. So the first question it asks you is, who are you creating a healthcare data set for, myself or someone else? So I'm assuming for most of you, it's going to be myself. You could create one for your spouse. Your grandchildren or your children can create one for you by downloading the app. And you could also have multiple data sets. So for example, you could have one for yourself, you could have one for your friend, you could have one for your sibling. You could have multiple data sets. We're going to show you how to add one. But when you first do it, you want to do the one that's probably most important, which in this case, we're just going to do myself. That seems like the simple one. We're creating a health data set for myself. Okay, now that was the whole setup process. You are now officially into the HealthSync app. Now we're going to show you, there are many other things in this app, but we're going to show you the main things, the things that we think are especially important to you. And it's all going to start from these 4 buttons at the bottom of the screen. Usually anytime you want to start by exploring an app, you always want to look at the menu, and the menu is always in the bottom of the screen. So that's always a great place to start. We have 4 buttons here. One says current data, one says report, one says contacts, and one says your profile. We're going to be looking at all 4 of these, but the most important for inputting your information is the first one, which is current data. And this is how you put in measurements, medications, symptoms, current diagnosed conditions, and appointments. There are 5 things you could put into this app. We are going to cover 4 of these. We're not going to talk about symptoms because I don't think it's too important, because I can't imagine every time you get a headache or something minor, you're going to start putting into the app. That seems a little exhausting and not too important. So we're going to skip over symptoms, but you could definitely use that. But we're going to be looking at measurements, medications, current diagnosed conditions, and appointments. You can see the app, even just by looking at the home screen, is very colorful. It looks very nice and easy to play around with. And you should, even without, we are going to explain it anyway, but you should be able to figure it out yourself based off of the tech knowledge that you know. So we're going to start now with the first 2 things here, measurements and medications at the top of the screen. And I'll pass it over to Caroline.
Okay, hi guys. So for each of these 4 things, to open any of them, what you want to do is you want to click on that little plus sign right next to it. So if Joe clicks for measurements, if he clicks on that plus sign right next to the measurements, which is right next to it, so click on it, you could add any of your measurements in. So now it opens 3 buttons that you could press on. You could add in your blood pressure, your blood sugar, or your weight. So for example, if we click on weight, now it brings us to this chart. So what we could do for this, we could enter any weight. So let's just enter 100 pounds, I guess. And you would want to enter your own weight. And then you could enter the date that you entered this weight, the exact time. So he's just changing the date around. Let's say you want to change it. Okay. The exact time. So like he did for the date, if you click on the time, you could just change the time around for whatever time you're doing it at, but it will mostly set like default whatever time it is. And then what you would want to do after is you would want to save that weight. So once you save that weight, if you go back by clicking this little arrow button in the top left corner, now under measurements, you have Joe's weight put in. Okay. Now for medications, it's the same process. What you would do is you click the little plus button right next to medications. And now it would bring you to this little chart. What you would want to do is you would want to enter in the name of your medicine, or if, okay, so I don't know, let's choose a random medicine, I guess. Anything.
Tylenol.
Like Tylenol, yeah. Okay, so once Joe enters Tylenol, there are a lot of things he could choose. He could either pick a pill, a chewable, or whatever you guys are taking. And then he could pick if it's a prescription or supplement. Then you could enter the dosage, how much you're taking. So let's just pick one of these at the bottom. And then the frequency, how much you're taking it. Okay, 2 times a day. Let's pick that for now. And then again, you could do the date that you started taking it, and then for however long you plan on taking it, or if it's you don't know yet. Okay, then if you want to add any notes to yourself, or you could add in any notes at the bottom over there. And then if you press OK, this big button at the bottom, again, this will save and it will be under medication as supplements.
Great. No, I just want to point out, Joe, if you click on measurements again, yeah, if you just go to the measurements page, great. So you see how it says, let's go to weight, because that's what Caroline put in. But you see how it says Joe's recent weight, and it says weight 100. And if Joe puts in another weight, so let's say Joe puts in, let's say 120 right now, and click on save weight, you'll see how it still keeps in the previous information and just builds it up. So you'll be able to see your history as you add different things. On the home page, which Joe, if you go back to the home page, you'll only see the most recent. So you see a measurement says weight 20. It doesn't say 100 anymore. If you want to see your history, if you want to see what you put in the past, then you could just click on measurements and look where it says Joe's recent weight. And it works the same way for blood sugar and what was it, blood pressure, something like that. It works the same way just by putting in the information into the database, and it shows the most recent things right below it. Okay, so we're now going to look at the last two, but once again, we're going to skip over symptoms because I don't think it will be too important or too significant for you. We're going to look at current diagnosed conditions and how to import your appointments into this app. Pass it over to Julia.
Okay, guys, so in order to insert information for current diagnosed conditions, you're going to press on that same plus button that Caroline showed you for measurements and medications, and that's going to open up this current diagnosed conditions page. So first it says, what condition have you been diagnosed with? And it gives you a little line to type in the condition name. So you could say maybe headaches or migraines. This is your new condition and you want to add it into the app. So then below it, it already has the date of today because that's the date that you're inserting it. But if you meant to do it yesterday and you forgot, you could change the date. And then below the date, it says diagnosis code. And then it also says treating health professional, which is where you can put in the name of the doctor who diagnosed this condition. So right now we don't have any doctors in our contacts yet, but later on we're going to show you how to add contacts into the HealthSync app. So once you have a doctor saved into this app, you can then click on the doctor's name and add them as the treating health professional who diagnosed you with this condition. And then you can also add some notes to the condition if you want. And then at the end, you'll press add to add it to the app, and it should show up on the main screen. And as Jordan said, if you're now diagnosed with a second condition and you want to add it, then you'll be able to see the history of all of your different diagnosed conditions.
All right, Julia, could you just do appointments?
Yeah, so appointments is also similar. You're going to click on that plus button and you're able to add any doctor's appointments that you have coming up. So you choose the date of the appointment, the time of the appointment, and the place. So right now, Joe's going to click on any random date. So he has this appointment in February. He's going to click the time of the appointment, so 10 a.m., and the place. So he's able to put in the location of the doctor's office, wherever that is, or whatever type of appointment he has. And then he's also able to add that treating health professional. So whatever doctor he's going to see, once he has that doctor saved in his contacts, he can click on the name of the doctor. And then once he's finished inserting all this information, you would press add, and that would add this new appointment, so that before his appointment next time, he would get a reminder, and it would say you have this appointment coming up in February.
Great. Okay, so basically this app has a built-in calendar. That's what basically the appointments is, where you could add in your your medical appointments. And even if if you want to use this as your main resource, you could even put in, like, I don't know, a birthday. You could put in whatever you want into the system. Even though it's built for health, you could use it as your built-in calendar as well. Okay, so this app looks great. It's easy for us to use, easy to put in information, but this would be much more useful if we could take this information and share it with our doctor, which actually this app has a very nice built-in feature for this. And we're going to go to the second button at the bottom, which says report. And this is how you very easily take the information that you've been putting into this app and send it to your medical professional, send it to a doctor, send it to someone who actually cares about it and needs to see it. So if you click on report, and basically, there are a few things you could do in order to send this information to your doctor. The first thing is to set the date range. So for example, if your doctor says, over the next 2 weeks, keep track of your weight. I want to see how much weight you lose or gain. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the start date and the end date for the course of 2 weeks. So let's say today's the end of the 2 weeks. Today's the end of the 2 weeks. So let's have the start date be 2 weeks ago, right? And the end date is today. Right? So we just changed the start date. So it's 2 weeks ago. The end date is today, just by clicking on it and adjusting the date. Now you will see these 6 buttons, right? Measurements, medications, symptoms, diagnosed conditions, and appointments and doctors. Not all of this is necessary for your doctor to see. Your doctor doesn't care when your appointments are. Maybe your doctor just wants to see your measurements and your medications. So right now, all 6 of them are blue, meaning that all of them are selected. To deselect some of them, just click on the ones that you don't want to send. So if Joe clicks on doctors, appointments, diagnosed conditions, and symptoms, you'll see how those will become gray, meaning that those are no longer selected. And if Joe sends this report, it will only include measurements and medications. So you want to make sure that before you send your information, you only select the categories that your doctor is interested in receiving. And now if Joe scroll down, you'll see how it says my measurements and it says medications, the 2 categories that we have selected. Now, once you have selected the categories that you want to send, you'll click on the nice big button at the bottom of the screen that says share this report. And once you click on that, you'll be asked to type in the email address of who you want to send the information to. So Joe, if you type in actually, no, you could just type in your Mitless Senior Check email, so we can actually see it in the email. And basically, this doctor will be receiving an email saying from HealthSync, Joe Kaplan is sending you this health report. It includes his medications and his measurements over the past 2 weeks. And it's a very organized manner. And instead of having to go through this and write it down on pieces of paper, you're doing it all directly from your phone. And something else that's cool is that you could, first of all, include your email. So you also get a copy into your email, making sure that it was sent correctly. And you could add an extra message. Hi, doctor, here's my information. Please let me know if you need anything else. You could add another comment so that your doctor not only receives the information, but also another caption if you would like to include that. And once you have typed in all that, you'll just click on send. And then the email will have been sent. It will ask you to confirm, and the email will now be sent to your doctor. You'll see it says health report has been sent. That's giving you the confirmation that it actually went through. We are going to continue, but in a second, I'm going to ask Joe to open up his email and we're going to try and see that. We're going to try and see that report. But let's now go to contacts, which is the 3rd button over here. Joe, if you click on that, you'll see that this is also a useful panel. I'm sure many of you are kind of thinking about, why would I use this over your phone's contacts? And the reason why is you could see that this is more broken down into categories that are health related, and also so that when you schedule appointments, you have the ability to connect them to the people you have in your contacts. So Caroline, can you just briefly explain how this interface works.
Okay, yeah. So this contact section is very easy. What you would want to do is there are 4 types of contacts you could add. You could add a family contact, a medical contact, an insurance contact, and add insurance or add a pharmacy. So whatever you're trying to do. So for all of these things, it's the same process. So if you click on, let's add a medical contact. So if you press on add a contact, which was in the corner of the button, to show you guys again, go back for a minute. It just says add contact and you want to press on that button. Okay, just to, yeah. Okay, so if you click on that button, what it shows up with this, and what you could do is you could add the name of the contact. So I don't know, let's choose a name, any name of a contact. Okay. Okay, yeah. And then what you would want to do is you would want to add the number of that contact. So then a random number, I guess. Okay, so once you have that, then you could add the email of the contact, which you don't really need to do, but I guess you can if you want to. And then you can choose the relation. And then once choosing the relation, okay, let's choose a cousin, whatever. Or any of these. Okay, if you choose any of these relations, once you do that, you press save contact, which is in the bottom, and now you have that contact saved in your thing. So the same thing for a medical contact. Once you add that medical contact, which would be like a doctor, then once you go back to what we were saying about like who prescribed the medication and all of that stuff, the medical contact will appear. So if you go back to, first let's add a medical contact. So let's add a medical contact. Once we add a medical contact, okay, so we could choose a contact name again. Let's do John Smith again, I guess. Okay, then we could choose a company. So
You could skip over some of this.
okay, fine. So I guess let's just add it. Let's just press add. Okay, once we save that contact and we go back to measurements or medications, let's go back to medications. If it says a doctor, you could choose that doctor and it'll come up.
Joe,
So Jordan, you want to like reiterate that?
Joe, let's go to appointments. So you see how it says treating health professional?
Right there, the doctor will come up.
So if you click on that, right now it says just John Smith, right? And you could add John Smith as your doctor. Okay, great. So the point of that is that as you are adding your appointments, if you have different doctors and you have different things going on, you want to add your doctor so you know who this appointment is for, where it is, what time it is, all that, etc. Okay, and someone asked about syncing your contacts with this app, so I'll just show you briefly. If you go back to contacts and you click on, let's say, add contact from family contacts, you will see a button that says search my phone contacts. And if you click on that, you could actually take the contacts from your phone and put them into here. So you see here's Joe's contact list, and put them in so that you don't have to type in everyone's email and phone number and all that, etc. Information, and just add in the information from your contacts. Okay, let's go back and let's go to our last button, which is your profile. Now your profile, just like a social media platform, is usually information that kind of deals with what's going on with you. So basically, Joe, let's go to your profile. So you see it says your name at the top, and it says the data sets that you have. So right now, Joe just has one, a data set for himself. But you could add multiple data sets, which will be completely separate from what you originally have. So if Joe creates add a new data set, it will then ask about a new person, meaning you're obviously not creating two for yourself. You're probably creating about someone else. And you could add measurements and medications on this specific database, and it will not interfere with your information. So you could have multiple data sets at the same time. So you don't actually have to go through this. If you go back and you go back to the home page, you will see how at the top of the screen it says Joe Kaplan. But if there was another data set, it will appear right next to it. And you could just click on either name to switch between the two. So it's very easy to go back and forth when you have multiple data sets on the platform. Usually you want to stick it to maybe 2 or 3. You don't want to have too many, but you can actually have more than one person on the day. You could track more than just yourself or more than just one person on this app, making it easy to track not just yourself, but also other people in your family. So that was a brief overview of this app. The point and the reason why we're showing this to you is because it is a very user-friendly way for you to put in your health information and share it with people who actually care about you and need to see that information, including your doctor and other family members. It's also an easy way to organize your appointments, your conditions, your medications, and keep track of your contacts in kind of clean, colorful, organized manner. And also share that with your doctor. This is an app that is that you can download on any smartphone. Joe, we can go back to the presentation as I'm finishing this up. Basically, this app can be downloaded on any smartphone, not just iPhones, not just Android, any smartphone, allowing you to keep track of your data. Now, a few of you were asking, why would I use this app over, let's say, another health app, or maybe I'm using the Apple's health app, or I'm using some other platform. Why would I use this one? And basically, we're actually now going to show you for about 10 minutes. We're going to show you the Apple Health app, and we're going to explain the key difference. Which, if you have been using the Apple Health app, what that app does is that automatically keeps track of your data. So let's say you know at the end of the day, if you open the Apple Health app, it will say you took 10,000 steps today. HealthSync doesn't do that. HealthSync actually has you put in, medications and appointments. The Apple Health app is pretty much an automatic thing, meaning it automatically keeps track of information. You don't have to put it in. It naturally keeps track of your steps, or it sees. We're going to show you how much caffeine you drink. That's something else that we're going to show you. But in terms of appointments and scheduling and emailing reports, the Apple app is not capable of doing that. That's why we think HealthSync is more of a beneficial app for that purpose. The way we're going to categorize this is that the Apple Health app is more for day-to-day health information. Health information that comes in day to day, and it comes in automatically, not something you have to actually input. So Joe, let's go to the next slide. All right, just one second. There we go. Okay, so Apple's Health app makes it easier than ever to organize and access your important health information. The Health app consolidates data from your iPhone, your Apple Watch, and third-party apps you already use, so you can view all your progress in one convenient place, see your long-term trends, or dive into the daily trends for a wide range of health metrics. So Joe, you could open this. You could open up this app. But basically, the only downside to this is that this obviously is made by Apple and it's restricted to Apple devices. So you cannot get this on an Android. But there are kind of replacements. If you do have an Android phone, you could really go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and just type in health, and you'll find so many other different apps. We're showing you this one because this was actually made by Apple. It's already downloaded with your phone, so we don't have to go through that. The downloading process. It will be there for you. It actually looks like a white icon with like a little heart in it, like a pink heart at the top right of the icon. Once we get this on the screen, I'll circle it. It's all the way at the top. Does everyone see that? It says health. This is once again already downloaded with your phone, not something you have to download separately. It will be there for you when you first get it. So Joe, let's click on that. And here's what the health app looks like when you open it up. You'll see that once again, we always want to look at the menu bar at the bottom when we first open an app. Here we only have two. We have summary, which is a little heart, and we have browse, which is with four boxes. And we also have at the top, you might see a little face. And if you click on that little icon, show could do, you'll see it will give you information about yourself, including health details, your medical ID, things that you have to keep track of. This is really not something you have to kind of pay attention to, but if you want to see more information about your data and what's going on, in the health environment, you can click on your little profile picture and see more information, but we're not going to go through this. The important part is keeping track of your data. So Joe, let's get out of this. And we're now going to look at the first page, which says summary, which gives you kind of the highlights of your day. Caroline, go ahead.
Okay, so on the front page of the health app, it gives you a bunch of features that you could look at. So the first is summary, which is basically just a summary of your day that'll record everything without you needing to put anything in. So this will just record your things. Then So the first part of this is favorites. Favorites will record your steps, and then you can also click on show all health data for further information. So if you want to click on that button, it'll show your like health data from today or the past 7 days or like the past months. So, and this all records without you needing to put anything in. It records automatically. Okay, so then if you go back, it continues further down. So the next one is highlights. So this will show like the highlights from your day, the highlights of your week. Again, if you click on show all highlights, it'll go further into that. And you can click on like the highlights of your steps, the highlights of your running or walking. And it just records basically all of your activity from however long you can go down, the year, the month, or whatever. So then if you continue further down, so there are, if you go scroll all the way to the bottom, it recommends apps that will help you with your like health. So any of these apps, the health app is recommending to you. So you could go to the app store and check out these apps, and that's a good way to like record your health and stuff.
Right. So basically, this summary page just gives you an overview of your information. As you can see, most of it was put in automatically, but there are a few things that you might have to actually input. For example, I mentioned earlier, we're going to show you caffeine levels, right? There's no way for your phone to be able to actually detect how much coffee you drink. Your phone isn't capable of doing that just yet. But steps is pretty easy because if you have it in your pocket, it kind of sees your motion. If you go to the second button, which is browse at the bottom right, you can see a lot more information than just your steps. And you can see there's a whole list of things. So Julia, can you explain how to get through this?
Yes. So browse, you're able to search specific categories that wouldn't necessarily show up on that original page. And you're also able to scroll through a lot of these categories that are listed here. So if you want to look at things specific to the heart, maybe your blood pressure, you can look through those. It has a lot of different things. And these are all things that you're able to input. So like your phone is not really able to track your heart rate, but these are all things that you're able to track on your phone using this browse. So for example, if Joe types in caffeine, like Jordan mentioned, you're able to input that information into this health app. So your phone has no way of tracking the amount of coffee that you drink automatically, but it is able to keep track of it if you add the data in manually. So as you could see, Jordan showed this add data button in blue on the top right corner, and you're able to add the time and the date that you drank the coffee or that you had the caffeine, and also the dosage. So however much you had in milligrams, so you're able to type in specifically the amount of caffeine that you've had. So if Joe typed in like 10 milligrams, and then you're able to add that to your health app, and it would now store this information for you, and you would be able to keep track of how much caffeine you've had. And as you can see on top, so it says DWMNY, that stands for day, week, month, and year. So you're able to track it daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly, how much coffee you drink. So if this is something that you're constantly inputting and you want to see the trends over an entire over years, you're able to keep track of that on this app.
Great. So you can see that the health app is a little bit different in terms of its capabilities from Health Sync. I would say this app is more, like I said, day-to-day operations. So caffeine, you drink coffee every day, but your conditions are more long-term, and your appointments are more kind of a long-term schedule based. But this is once again specific to Apple, so not something you could get on another device. And it also tells you more information about different things, gives you kind of overviews of what each thing could do. Like it even says about caffeine over here, for example. All right, Joe, let's go back to the homepage. And once again, you could even browse this. So for example, if you're not sure what you want to look for, meaning we came onto this looking for caffeine, but you could search for, I don't know, sleep, right? You could, something else you might be interested in, and you could, you keep track of that as well. So this is definitely something you could play around with, try and get used to, but inputting information is the same thing. You click on add data, if it doesn't do it automatically, but some apps can do it automatically, like steps. Or I think there was also one of, how many like stairs you walked up today. That's something it could do naturally, but not everything is designed to actually do that naturally just yet. So you do have to input some information by yourself as well. All right, Joe, let's go back to the presentation. Before we move on to the last kind of topic of the class, we are going to show a video that is going to kind of recap everything we said regarding the health app, and I'm going to have Joe play it right now. All right, give us 1 second. This video is going to show you just the Apple Health. It's a recap of the Apple Health app. So you might want to keep it not in present mode. Maybe it'll work that way. Sorry, everyone. Give us 1 second. Joe, I'm not sure we have sound. Hey, Joe, let me just do it. Okay. Let me get the sound. Sorry, everyone. Share computer. Okay.
It's easy to view the information that matters most to you in the Health app in iOS 13. We'll go over your profile page, summary page, and how to explore your data. When you open the Health app, you can tap your profile image to open your profile page. Here you'll find your health profile and medical ID, as well as privacy controls for apps and devices that you have allowed to access your health data. Any information you enter in the Health app is encrypted when your phone is locked with a passcode, Touch ID, or Face ID. You decide which information is placed in Health and which apps can access your data through the Health app. Your summary page offers a personalized
Okay. All right, Joe, you want to go back to you, or should here, Joe? You have your computer here. Okay. So basically, what here? I'll just put mine on the screen. Okay. The last thing we're going to look at is basically a few tips on how to create a healthy workspace. Now, using a computer involves a lot of repetitive motions, such as typing and using the mouse. Over time, these motions can begin to negatively impact your body, especially your wrist, neck, and back. Staring at the monitor for long periods of time can also cause eye strain. To minimize these risks, you should take a few moments to make sure your workspace is arranged in a comfortable and healthy way. So this is basically something that we thought was just important to mention. We're going to show you just 6 kind of quick tips on things you could do to create a healthy workspace. And something that might make you feel better is that this isn't specific to seniors because even as students, we are in front of the computer all day long, doing work and typing up things and whatever it is. So we need to, so we're just going to show you a few things that we think are both relevant to you and us. So number one, it says adjust your chair. Basically what this means is that make sure your chair is adjusted so that you're sitting in a comfortable position. Especially when you're at a computer all day, you shouldn't be kind of, slouching or whatever it is. Many chairs are actually designed to support good posture, so it does the work for you. But make sure that you are in a good position, that your chair is all set before you start working. All right, next, let's go to tip 2. Okay, number 2, Caroline, go ahead.
Okay, so for number 2, what you want to do is you want to keep your keyboard in a position that allows you to keep your wrist straight and relax to avoid like any pain in your wrists or whatever. And also many keyboards have a tray that you can keep the keyboard at a better height. So this is just all to make you comfortable while at your computer and just better overall.
All right, number 3, let's go to, all right. Basically, this thing is pretty important. If you don't think it is, I'm going to explain to you why, but keep the mouse close to the keyboard. I have had seniors who have had their mouse at the beginning next to their keyboard, and then at the end of the lesson, they were stretching across the table because they keep moving it up and up and up, and then it's falling off the table. So anytime you get to that point, you want to lift it up and bring it back. The mouse is in a like retrospective like environment, so it goes on forever, but you should bring it back every once in a while so it's back near your keyboard. Okay, let's have number 4. Julia, go ahead.
Okay, so you ideally want to keep your computer or your monitor at a comfortable distance from your eyes. So you don't want to be sitting right in front of your computer because that can strain your eyes. And also you don't want your computer to be too far up where you have to raise your head every time you want to look at your computer. So you want to keep it at a comfortable distance and a comfortable height.
Okay, number 5, Caroline.
Okay, so this one is just basically to keep your area clean while working or whatever you're doing. It'll just have a better mindset. And if you have like a cluttered area, it's just bad for you overall. And having an uncluttered like area can improve your productivity and prevent strain or injury.
Okay, and Joe, do you want to do the last one? Are you able to unmute?
Okay, I guess the last tip is to take frequent breaks. It's important to take breaks when you're working on your computer. To avoid eye strain, you should look away from the monitor every once in a while. You can also stand up and walk around to avoid sitting in the same position for long periods of time.
Great, pretty self-explanatory. All 6 of those should have been pretty self-explanatory, but things you should just be aware of when you're using the computer the next time. Okay,